recording. Okay, how do I
And
know
can
it's
you
recording?
make Ed the co-host?
Okay. All right, how do I know it's recording to the cloud?
It's recording. It's recording.
Okay,
And now you look for Ed's name and
okay. I'll make him host, make host. Okay, can I make me co-host? No. Wait, I just clicked make host. How come it's not doing it? Make host. There can't be two hosts?
no, there's a host
Okay.
and a co-host.
All right, I'm gonna make,
Just make me the
Okay.
co-host, I
wait,
guess.
I'm gonna make, I can't do anything to myself.
Right. Just remember that whether you're co-host or he's host, you both have the same access.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna, all right,
FYI, Captain Gervin is here.
yep.
How are you, Captain?
Hey, okay. Change host.
There you go.
Okay,
All right, I'm good.
did it work? Okay, now I am not anything. So Ed,
Cool.
make me co-host.
All right,
We could just do this all night.
All right.
I got you, Myra. I got you.
Okay,
All right. So Ed, the captain's here, Officer Sala is here, and Belkey Mateo from
Okay.
Con Edison Education Department is here. So you're all set on my end. I'm ready to jump off. Have a good evening,
All
everybody.
right, Pablo,
okay.
thanks a lot.
Thanks, Pablo.
Appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna start this meeting. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Public Safety. Happy holidays. And I'm just gonna take a quick roll call. Myra Joyce,
Present,
I know Margaret Donato is not here. Nick Fazio,
Here.
Georgia Santiago, I don't see Georgia here. Robert Kaplan,
Here.
Stephen Vasquez,
Present.
Ted Morris. No Ted, Christopher Calhoun.
Hey, Ed.
Hey, Chris. I'm bad at counting. Does that equal a quorum? I think we got it here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes,
Sounds good. All right, so first and foremost, I just want to, I guess everybody received the public safety minutes for our November 16th meeting. So if anybody has any questions about that, I guess speak up now, or if anybody has any changes or anything, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
Okay, so anyone, if there's nobody opposed or abstaining, then we have, the minutes are approved unanimously. And I guess we'll go right into the NYPD report. Hey, Captain Gervin, how are you? Happy holidays. I think you're muted.
All right, here we go.
There you go.
How are you? Good evening.
Good to see you.
Good to see you all here. Great to be here. As usual in the 5-0, I say it all the time, our crime is driven by larcenies and theft, and we're up a little bit, both in grand larceny, which is the theft of $1,000 or more, and our grand larcenies of autos, and that's the things that drive our crime here in Riverdale. But while it is up, we've been making some headway out there in the grand larceny and grand larceny automobiles. In the past 2 weeks, we've had 2 live GLA thefts, which our officers were able to make apprehensions on, which is a great job. It's very rare that we actually catch anybody live in the act of driving stolen cars anymore. And for the grand larcenies, a lot of our larcenies from autos have to do with the catalytic converters, tires and rims, and vehicle accessories like mirrors and the various sensors that thieves steal. And in regards to one of those GLAs, we were able to make an apprehension, and he had the subject had all kinds of electronic programming equipment in which he would be able to program his own key for the car. So we made an apprehension on that, and we handed off the investigation to the NYPD Auto Crime Unit. So they're running with that now as an advanced investigation. On the overnight, a couple days ago, our midnight platoon commander, Lieutenant Dave Franks, he was up on patrol by Manhattan College Parkway, and he was flagged down by a resident of the area who pointed out 2 subjects who he was told were stealing catalytic converters. Lieutenant Franks was able to make the apprehension, and we recovered 13 catalytic converters, which is a lot of catalytic converters. Once again, we reached out to our auto crime division. They got the serial numbers off those catalytic converters, working backwards on those serial numbers, came back to certain cars, and then they put that into our computer system, and they were able to tie that into previous thefts by finding those cars through our computer system. And those 2 subjects were additionally charged with several more catalytic converter thefts. So we're on it. We also have a paper plate initiative that's been going on for the past week and a half into 5-0, targeting a variety of both operated and parked motor vehicles with paper plates. And that's where we stand with that. It's an uphill battle with car theft, with the bail reform as it stands. It's often difficult to keep these folks in jail, and they're basically out again the next day, and they go right back to their business, which is auto theft. And I hope in the coming months, with our new administration here in the city, we're able to make some headway with keeping the right people in jail.
Thanks a lot, Captain. I've received several things that I want to go over with you, but I'm going to open it up to the committee first to see if the committee has any questions for you, or committee. No, nothing from the committee. Okay.
Yes, I have a question.
Bob,
Good evening, Captain.
Good evening, Bob.
2 things. One is just as on bail reform. It's a state issue, not a city issue. So I don't think anything that the mayor-elect, and I happen to be on his transition team, will be able to affect anything about that unless he can have really deep impact upon the legislators in Albany, which I'm not sure if that's the highest priority listed or the ability at this time. That's just a note. 2, what is happening with the illegal electric scooters and bikes in the area? I know that I was on a briefing the other day with Chief Madry, and there was the notion that I know that you're not supposed to or not going to engage them in chases. I understand that. What about when the sales of them on the streets? I mean, you go onto Broadway, there's a couple of stores selling them right out front. That's the point of entry into the community. If it was another thing that's illegal, there would be some interdiction here. But how come these are not places that are being targeted for the ending of sales of these things into the community?
It's currently not illegal to own, possess, or sell them, but it is illegal to ride them in the city of New York. So I think it's our traffic division is working on something about through our nuisance abatement to get rid of these stores that are selling them, because it's just problematic in the neighborhood. And as you mentioned before about the vehicle pursuits, we don't chase them. It's detrimental to the safety of the community. What we do is we try to get them while they're chained up or stationary, and we'll seize them at that point.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
thank you, Bob. Anybody? I see Chris. You got your hand up, Chris Calhoun.
Yes, good evening, Captain. Thank you, Ed. Besides the paper plates, something else I've noticed interesting, I actually saw it on 2 occasions within the community. People altering their metal plates with like white surgical tape. I don't know if that's to avoid the speed cameras or Easy Pass. I actually even saw somebody applying it right on Kingsbridge Avenue, a few blocks from the precinct, and wanted to bring that to your attention as well.
Yes, we're aware of that. That's a parking violation if we don't grab somebody in person for that. Otherwise, it's a moving violation, and it's a failure to properly display your plate. I'm aware of it. We've stopped numerous people, both motorcycles and cars, with that. It is problematic between the tape, painting, bogus plates, as well as bent plates, and additionally, the illegal plate covers, which have like an opaque vision through them, which you can only see when you're right up on it. It's illegal, and we stop them and we write them summonses. That's detrimental to our the revenue through the city. I know they have a problem with that on the various bridges that exist in the city, and the red light cameras, speed cameras near the school zones. Yes, when we see that, it's a ground ball for us, and we take action. Just trying
Thank
to show
you.
I took a couple of pictures too, but I can't find them on my phone right now. Here we go. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm working backwards.
Mhm.
Oh my. That's the kind of stuff we see. That's just on a motorcycle. We see it on cars. I have a couple of car ones. Oh, here it is. Another one. Whoop, sorry. We're aware of it. And these are the guys we target. It's a ground ball for us. And they receive moving violations if they're driving. And like I said,
Captain, we lost your audio there.
if it's a parked vehicle, they get the site plate. I got Zach. Can you hear me now? Can you
Yes.
hear me? Okay. Yeah, the violation is missing or improperly displayed plate. That's code 74J2 of the traffic regs. And we write them all the time. And as you can see by the name on the bottom of the citation, that's me. So we are all actively involved in checking those things out that regarding those concerns.
Thank you very much. It just shocked me when I saw it going on in front of my eyes.
Yep. We're
Thanks,
working on it.
Chris. Anybody else from the committee have any other questions for Captain Gervin? Okay, so during your report, you mentioned the grand larceny arrests and the electronic key equipment, and also the arrested with the two individuals with the 13 catalytic converters, and that's terrific. I mean, that really is. It almost sounds like it's an organized thing. I don't know. As far as the electronic key equipment is concerned, what is that? It's just like a way to jimmy all cars, a code or something like that.
In all late model cars, there's a thing called an OBD reader, an onboard diagnostic port. It's just underneath the dashboard of your car. It's like a trapezoid looking thing with a lot of prongs. And when you get your car inspected, they plug a device into it. That's what the car thieves do. They have like, it looks like a little game set that has a cord, an OBD cord. They plug in, and with usually it's a Honda, they can program in less than a minute a new key using that hardware and software to reprogram. And as they reprogram their own key to steal a car, they deprogram the true owner's car key. So even if we get it back, he can't even start it himself with the key. And this is all done within a minute. And we've had numerous briefings of these car theft subjects, and they've given us information about that kind of stuff. We handed that stuff off to the detectives in the auto crime division, and they have active cases throughout the Bronx, including the 50th precinct. In fact, they were here today in regards to those catalytic converter thefts.
Yeah, and you mentioned also that because of the bail reform, the people committing these auto thefts essentially let right out. It kind of blows my mind because the stuff you just mentioned seems like some pretty sophisticated methods of getting in, and to just give somebody a slap on the wrist like that. I mean, I don't know what the eventual penalty is when they have to come back to appear or whatever for this, but just to let somebody out, I mean, Grand Theft Auto, that's a lot of money there. You're taking somebody's car, and it's like, it's almost like the equivalent of jaywalking if you're just going to let them out,
unfortunately, and that affects us considerably, especially with the catalytic converters, because even though they're removing just the catalytic converters, when they're removing it, they're damaging the exhaust system from the catalytic converter up to the exhaust manifold and from the catalytic converter back to the tailpipe. That all has to be replaced at great expense to the owner. And it's not really something they should have to go through. Like Bob was saying about the state, it's a statewide thing, but we have a lot of influence here in New York City. And that's what I would meant, that we could somehow come to a middle ground. Bail reform, we needed bail reform. There's nothing bad about reevaluating things. But they really went from one side, the proponents of bail reform, one side to all the way to the other side. And it's really put the general community at risk.
Well, when you say we have a lot of influence in this city, I mean, how do we find, what do you mean? Because a lot of this stuff is legislative. So how do you get around that? How do we get around that? Or how do we find a middle ground, let's say?
Yep. Well, we got to get our local people, our local legislators, whether it's our local senators, congressmen, congresspeople, I should say, and get involved. And then we're able to get out there and push a reevaluation of this bail reform. People should be evaluated for bail, I feel, objectively by a judge who's looking and seeing what the subjects have done based on their current law as well as their past record. And under the current bail reform, that discretion has been taken away from the judges. They don't have discretion.
Okay, I see David Gelman has his hand up. David is a member of the Bronx Community Board 8 as well. David, you got something?
Yeah, two things. One, I believe that this bail reform, it probably should be reevaluated, certainly in terms of felonies versus misdemeanors. But when a person is let out on with no bail, they're still subject to the criminal prosecution. So they're not being let go. They're being let free in the meantime, but they're still subject to prosecution.
That's correct. But what I'm getting at, David, is that as soon as they're let out, they go right back to doing what they do. Their theft of cars and car parts. That's what they do for a living.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's got to be reevaluated. I just want to clarify that they're being let out, but they're not being let off.
But in that time frame, that's what's hurting the community.
Yes, no, I agree. And this bail reform applies to felonies as well as misdemeanors, correct?
I'm not sure about that. Definitely
Yeah,
not sure about the.
I think that's a serious difference. The other question is, you were talking about the reprogramming the keys using the device on the OBD. They're reprogramming electronic keys, right?
Yes, the key fobs. Not the
Key fobs. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, David. And Captain, where were the arrests made for the grand larceny?
They picked up here in the 5-0 and we chased the motor vehicle up into Yonkers, up the thruway, came around and we grabbed them in Yonkers with the assistance of the state police. We were able to get the subject and the car back here. And the other grand theft of the auto was on the Henry Hudson Parkway northbound. It had been recently stolen out of the 33rd precinct in Manhattan. Our officers followed them onto the Henry Hudson where he crashed about 256th Street. Then the subjects ran into the neighborhood right by the Russian Mission. One subject was immediately apprehended, and then we got our cops together, backyard by backyard search, and we were able to apprehend the second, who is the driver of the motor vehicle, like 256 in Fieldston.
Great, thank you, Captain. Just on another note, some of the things that came into me during the month, I received a report that there was a package stolen at 3426 Irwin Avenue, and a person, they have cameras and they have pictures of a person basically and video of a person following a postal truck around, picking up packages off of people's stoops, basically. And did you get any wind of this, or?
Yeah, we have a lot of those. I'm in touch with Jerry Staples. He covers the security up at Fieldston, and we have a pattern of package theft locally down here on 231st and Corlier. Right now, all these subjects, people are stealing. We call them Porsche pirates. They follow the DHL, the UPS, the FedEx, the mail trucks around the neighborhoods until they drop off something that they believe to be valuable. And then if it's not picked up immediately by the resident or the recipient of the package, they'll scoop up onto the porch. To combat that, we have our NCOs out there, Sergeant Caprinos, our NCO sergeant. They're in unmarked motor vehicles, and they're patrolling the north area of Riverdale, which is where most of these packages are occurring, except for the one that I think it's 3050 Corlier. It's a mixed-use building. The subject in that incident has been identified, and we're looking for an apprehension. But in regards to the other ones in North Riverdale, we do have our unmarked not plainclothes, but the unmarked cars out there with our NCOs following these trucks around.
Okay, so was there anything about that specific one though, 3426 Irwin Avenue? Because our previous committee chair, Margaret Donato, sent me photos actually they have of somebody.
Is it 3 photos?
Yes.
And it's in like a pink person?
Yes.
Yes, we forwarded that to the detective squad.
Okay,
I don't know where that stands though, but we forwarded the information to our squad detectives.
I'll let her know. Thank you. Okay, what else? Also, I got a couple of emails about people expressing concerns about, there was a mugging at the Spuyten Duyvil Metro North Station. I'm not exactly sure what date it was. I received the email December 14th. I don't know if that was the date in and around that time, but I had a couple of, concerns about that area, the Metro North. And I also got an email from someone who works at Metro North. She's in the Operation Plannings and Analysis Department, stating that there was an issue with double and triple park buses not being able to go through 256th and Riverdale. Well, I guess those are 2 separate issues, but
Different ends of the precinct.
yeah. But
Okay, well.
the only connection there is somebody from Metro North made the complaint, but sorry about that. Metro North mugging, anything about that?
Yes, we just happened to have our sector over there when the robbery occurred. It was a gentleman exiting Metro North going home. He lived up in North Riverdale, but as he got off, he was accosted by 4 juveniles. Arrests were made shortly thereafter of all 4 juveniles, and we closed that out with the arrests.
What was the arrest for?
Robbery.
Okay.
And then the 256 in Riverdale with the buses, that's right by the school there. So there's double parking there at the end of school when they're picking up the kids. And that's the only issues that we have up there in regards to parking conditions from where it's like the Henry Hudson, where the speed camera is, north to 256 Street. The parents double park there as they pick up their kids. And I guess the school buses are also picking up kids there. So it's really only around school time, and I don't think it's a safety concern. They're just picking up the kids.
Okay, well, the concern from them specifically was, they said at 259th and Arlington bus stop that the residents are disregarding the no parking signs, parking in an actual bus stop, and they asked if maybe we could notify the NYPD traffic to go and enforce the no parking by issuing tickets. That's it.
25 in Arlington? Is that where the Netherlands?
Sky View.
No.
Sky View, no?
We had complaints. Officer Jamshire had some complaints at 256 in Netherlands. There's like a dead end there.
Mhm.
And then anybody live over there? If you're familiar, we've got complaints over there about no parking. It's like a little cul-de-sac, a little dead end. It's circular,
Mhm.
and there's no parking over there. And there's a fire hydrant on the west side of that circle.
Mhm.
And then a lot of them are I got handicapped guys too, in footway. We have issued summonses there, but we do give discretion to those people who have the handicap placards in their windshields.
Okay.
No, This, other than the hydrant, there are no really, it's really access really, rather than a safety issue like the fire hydrant, which Officer Jamshire has written summonses for. She's also talked to the complainant of some of those complaints in person when they were there. And it's just about the density of the housing there versus the availability of parking for those people who have autos in the neighborhood.
Thank you, Captain.
So,
Also, Myra, you got something? Oh, Nick.
yeah, it's in the
Myra.
same, it's
Okay.
on the same subject.
Go ahead, Myra.
On 256 and Netherland, the north side of the street on Netherland, there is almost always in the evening, somebody parked in the crosswalk, blocking the handicapped accessible curb cut. Okay, this is almost every day. The problem at Henry Hudson, excuse me, Riverdale Avenue in front of 81 at 256th Street, the double parking and triple parking is a major problem. This is a problem. It takes from getting from 254th Street to get to 256th Street on the bus about 20 minutes. So this is a huge problem with, I understand they're picking up their kids, but you know, it's really blocking everything because, you know, cars want to turn onto 256 to go, you know, to go west. So there's a serious problem there.
All right, what we'll do is we'll have our community affairs go over there, speak to both the school crossing guards there, as well as the school staff, and see if we can somehow accommodate all these people who arrive at one time to pick up their kids. Maybe move the discharge of the kids from school to 256th Street, or maybe put them out the back way if they could be picked up by parents on Marshalloo. Maybe that'd be a little bit more reasonable for the traffic conditions which are existing, and that maybe we'll have a better flow of traffic.
Yeah,
As
if they
well
could
as
do
city
that, that would be
buses.
great.
Before COVID, the principal did
Just-
arrange for that to happen on 256th Street very successfully. So you may want to talk with her.
Thanks, David. Nick, you have your hand up?
Yeah, just
We'll-
on the parking.
Revisit it.
I'm sorry, Captain, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just on the parking. I live near the southern part of Netherland, and I'm all for, you know, having some tolerance to people with, you know, handicap placards. The only time it becomes a little dangerous when they park really close to that sort of blind spot, no parking. And when the cars are parked there, when you're trying to pull out or if you're trying to go around a corner, you really can't see. So, I mean, that's just something that I've noticed is a little bit dangerous. And I see that there are sometimes people park there and they have no other place to park. And I have seen that they have had some handicap placards in there. But again, when it's right towards the corner, when you're trying to pull, for instance, if you're coming down 232nd and there's someone parked in that spot, you can't see to your left or to your right, right? You almost have to pull into the street to be able to see whether a car is coming. And if
What's the
someone-
location?
I'm sorry?
What was the location? You said 232nd?
There's a bunch of them. I mean, there's one, 232nd is the one that stands out because I think there's 4 on every corner. There's that sort of blind spot, no standing. And inevitably of at least one car is in one of those 4 corners that are always parked on a corner. And it's just difficult to see when you're pulling out.
Okay, that's 232nd Street and what? The cross streets?
Netherlands.
232nd. Like I said, Officer Jamshire, she spoke to the complaint in regards to that little cul-de-sac in the Netherlands, south of 256th Street. That's the only complaints that we've had, and we did address it by some discretion, some enforcement for the no parking, and the fire hydrant.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you.
You got anybody else? That guy?
David, is your hand up from before, or do you have another question?
No, just something else. Captain, regarding the porch pirates, there was something just this weekend that Yonkers PD has been boxing up GPS
Yes, I saw that.
devices, and apparently they've been quite effective at capturing people red-handed.
Yep, I saw the article. There was a nice video with the lieutenant who's running the show up there. I sent it out to Police Officer Jamshire so she could talk about that at her crime prevention seminars. We don't have anything like that in place. The only assets we have are the boots on the ground cops. We're going to be in the unmarked cars in the north, following these delivery vehicles around Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa time, where people are getting packages every day. What she's encouraging people to do is be aware of the delivery times when you get the notification on the emails, and that's a simple steps that they can take to ensure that they're going to receive their packages. I spoke to Jerry Staples from the Fieldston Security, and he spoke about a loss of packages on his area, and those packages were left out 3 to 4 days on the porch. So people who are ordering these packages have to be aware that's very tempting to the bad guys who are out there cruising the neighborhoods, looking to people's front doors and porches. You know, we got to take that opportunity away from the bad guys.
Well, as budget chair and, is it the kind of thing, getting GPS tracker type devices, is that something that you might be interested in, or something to think about this winter when we're going through the budget cycle and talking to our council member as well?
We'll see what we can do. I know we have our tech people down on our technical assistance response unit, our TARU. They're very big on the tech stuff. I don't know if it's available generally to patrol like ourselves, but I could have a conversation with them and find out, and I can get back to you.
That sounds great.
Thanks, Captain. Thanks, David. I just wanted to mention also that I believe this was yesterday morning, that there was a pretty serious fire over at 2835 Webb Avenue, where there was one fatality, one person with moderate injuries, and 2 people that went to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And I know that the cause of the fire was under investigation by FDNY. Captain, I guess nothing's been discovered yet this early about that, right? You're muted.
What we do know. No, hello? Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, touch it. Okay, what we do know about the incident was that the deceased, she was incapacitated, she was bedridden. So when the fire started, there was a lot of clutter in the apartment, which went on fire in very smoky condition. 2 people got out, but because she was disabled, she couldn't exit the apartment, and she subsequently passed from the smoke inhalation. And that's what we have at this early stage.
Okay, thank you, Captain. And, I also received various complaints about robberies of catalytic converters, and, you addressed that. So thank you. I'll send that back to the board to relay that to this resident that was concerned about catalytic converters, and also car crashes late at night. She didn't give any specific addresses for incidents, but we know it's been happening. Thank you for the great work you guys have been doing.
Well, for people who don't know, who are just joining the conversation tonight, we have anti-crime police officers out there on the midnight shift addressing those thefts of catalytic converters, vehicle accessories, tires and rims, as well as the autos themselves. So they'll be out there on the overnight when these events occur.
Okay. Oh, lastly, I should have brought this up at last month's meeting because it's a little late topically, but this went down in October as they passed this, they signed the bill for that basically decriminalizes the possession of hypodermic needles and syringes to addicts to use drugs. So I don't know, do you have anything to say on that about how that's potentially affecting this area or what you guys have seen so far or what you guys are doing in regards to that?
Well, based on that, they're allowed to possess up to, I forget, there's up to 10 hypodermic needles. We don't charge them like we have in the past. This is, I guess, to assist them in getting assistance and getting themselves clean. Our focus on the police department is just to assure officer safety, because sometimes when we take people into custody, they have these syringes on their person, and we don't want to get accidentally stuck or injured by them. So that's our focus right now, is working with them to assure them that it's not illegal to possess them, to come up front with us and let them know, to let us know where on their person, if they do have one, to let us know, so we don't get injured or get some kind of transmittable disease.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess my concern would be that this is a New York Post article and it might be hyperbolic, but they basically stating that, I'll quote this, NYPD cops are now under orders to let addicts freely shoot drugs and share needles. That sounds kind of disturbing to me, but it sounds a little over the top to me.
I agree. I haven't seen that article, so I can't comment on it, but I do know that possession of a hypodermic instrument has been decriminalized.
Okay, but not permission to shoot freely in the street, I guess.
That's correct. The use of narcotics is still against the law.
Okay. With that, oh, Myra, you have your
Yeah.
hand?
So back when we were talking about fires, I guess, did everybody see the fire? Where was it, on Tibbet?
Webb.
The fire at 234th Street, that
3024,
234th, right?
3024 Tibbet Avenue. And we were handing out toys to the children in front of the command. And then we saw these plumes of smoke come out. All the officers, of course, ran over there, secured the scene for the fire department to clearly enter. The residents were in grease, so there were no injuries.
Mhm.
And that was once again in regards to excessive clutter inside the apartment, which ignited off of unknown source, which the
Yeah.
fire marshal will determine. No injuries.
Okay, great. It was huge. It looked
Yes.
like there were two buildings, but it was just the one that was involved.
3024 was the main one, but those are semi-attached buildings. So
Mhm,
I don't know the damage to the adjoining building or residents.
mhm. Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
Myra.
you.
Bob Kaplan, you have your hand up?
Sure, just as I just want to wish both you, Captain, and your entire command happy holidays, a blessed new year, and much success under the new commissioner that's coming in January. Any way we can be of help to you in the work that you do and the incredible work that the 5-0 does, please.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Nick, is your hand up from before, or is this a new question?
Oh, mine's still-
Oh, no, that was old. That was from before, but well said, Bob Kaplan. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks. Okay, so there's nobody here from FDNY, right? I don't see anybody from FDNY for an FDNY report. Okay, so with that, we have crime prevention presentation by Police Officer Jamshia.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Rasha.
Yeah.
Thanks, Captain.
Uh-huh. Hi, Rasha.
Hi. It's, I don't know if some of you may know, may not, that I'm the new crime prevention officer on the 50th precinct. I used to be a cop patrol. I was on patrol. So I've been doing some research, looking through our reports every day. And I noticed we have the highest scam that committed is by pretend phone calls, pretend to be public defenders, or when people put an application for an apartment, or by threats, or when victims send mail, check by mail, all false promises. And one of the top ones too is by Con Ed. When people call, pretend they're gonna shut off the water or the power or whatever, they pretend to be Con Ed. This is every day we take reports related to those topics. So I have so many tips and advice to give, but I communicate with Con Ed, and since we have, this is that highest report that we take, one of the main reports we take, I spoke to them and they're gonna give their presentation too. But before that, I would like to tell, just like what I've been doing past couple months since I've been in position, I've been going out and cleaning up mailboxes. Please, please don't mail check or money in the mailbox, the main mailbox. I understand it's there for you to use it, but unfortunately we have those bad guys. They found their ways to put a glue rat and do the fishing there. And I've been wearing gloves every day to clean just the glue of the mailbox, and I put flyers there to on the hope that people, residents of Riverdale sees it and read it, or like, oops, okay, I'm not gonna mail this check or that money. Just try to go to a closest post office, and especially in Riverdale. I lived in Riverdale before. There's so many doormans and mailbox. The mail gets delivered and picked in person, or just go do it via electronically or in any other ways but the mailbox. Today I was standing on the corner of 236 and Johnson and 235 and Johnson. It's really one of the main mailboxes that get hit all the time. So I revisit, and those bad guys, guess what? They remove my sign that I put there. They remove it completely and they try again. And I go put the sign again. And today I went, it was about 10 people standing there. They were like, I was a victim. I was a victim. I was a victim. So that was one of our main reports too. The mailfish, it comes sometimes, you send a bill like $20, they wipe it off so clean, $50,000, $60,000. And it's very hard to track these guys too. The detectives take the case, but it's difficult. It takes so long. Also, I always tell people, hang up, call again. With that being said, when you get a call that says, this is Con Ed, or this is a public defender, your grandson in prison, we need money, or this Con Ed, we're gonna shut down. Always don't answer that call, even if it's true. Hang up, make sure to validate the sources. Call again, okay, I'll call you back, I can't talk. And then you try to call the right way, the right number, call. You cannot find someone else. You cannot, we here, call 911. We're here to assist you, obviously.
Your audio is
Okay,
breaking
yeah.
up. Your audio is breaking up there. Still can't hear you. Nope.
No. No, we can't hear you. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Emergency
Oh,
We heard you for 1 second.
connected the internet. Oh, how about now?
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
I got disconnected and came back. So, okay.
Oh, okay.
I said before, just verify the caller. Just,
Mhm.
if you can't, call family member or someone to
Mhm.
help you out. Just do not give any information over the phone. Also, one of our reports too that I look through every day, every morning I run, is the larcenies of autos, auto larcenies. Riverdale people, I have to say that they're very comfortable. They feel that it's a safe neighborhood. It is. They don't lock. They do not lock their cars. They do not. They run to the store. They leave the key fob, in their car, and there's someone always watching. I notice that. I go to Johnson all the time to get my Starbucks coffee. I notice they leave the car running. Also, besides that, the bad guys, what attract the bad guys is expensive, valuable things inside that vehicle too. So don't leave anything in that vehicle. Money, gold, anything it can attract, computers, phones. Also, homeowners. We get a lot of burglaries in Riverdale. Homeowners don't lock their doors either. The gardener is coming and the cleaning lady is coming, so I leave my door unlocked. And then we find someone in the driveway. Somehow somebody saw that person. It doesn't look like that he lives there. We go there. That's when we are lucky. When we are not lucky, they already moved half of the house out. So please always lock your door. Even if you go get the mail from outside, lock your door. Lock your car when you're grabbing a coffee. Even if you're still looking at your car through the glass, but guess what? Those guys are really fast. Okay. And on that note, I have Con Ed. I worked with Con Ed today, so they'll be part of the meetings, and I'm pretty sure they experienced that same thing. So they would like to give their points, what's going on, or how to avoid two things. I'm not sure if they are with us. I saw them earlier.
Yes.
Hi, I'm here. Hi.
Hi. John
Hi.
Minner.
So I'm John Minners. I'm the Department Manager of Outreach and Education at Con Edison. I actually used to be the editor of the Bronx Times back in 2000 to 2008. So it's nice to come back virtually, at least, to the area. But I definitely wanted to talk about several scams that are happening related to people pretending to be from Con Edison. The first one has to do with the new smart meters. I'm sure everyone knows of the smart meters that have been going out. It's a new technology. Use it to view your usage online and kind of save money on energy. But the thing is that it's a new technology. And when new technology comes out, anytime something new comes out, people try to take advantage of that. And we had an incident in Pelham Bay this year where someone pretended to be from Con Edison. They said they were there to install a smart meter. And then they broke into the home and robbed them. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, because we have 3 contractors that install these meters, and there's some changes going on with that. And I want to make sure you're all aware. So the first contractor we have is Aclara. They're ending their run with the smart meters at the end of this year, a little bit into next year, like maybe January, February. So there will be no one from Aclara out in the streets come February 2022. We have another utility, Precision Pipeline Solutions, PPS, also known as. They do the gas meter exchanges for smart meters. And then we have a new group that just joined us. They're called Southern Cross, and they're kind of doing the cleanup effort. So if like you lived on a block and 200 people could get smart meters, but only 180 have them, Southern Cross comes in and tries to get those other 20 people to get their smart meter installed. So I wanted to talk to you because I wanted you to be armed with enough information in case someone comes to your door saying they're from one of these groups or Con Edison. It's very important, if you feel you're allowed, this is you have all the power. You do not have to let us in at any time. So you go to the door, someone says, "Hey, I'm from Con Ed, Aclara, PPS, or Southern Cross. I'm here to install your smart meter." You say, "Okay, can I have your ID? Can I see your ID?" They show you their ID. All Con Edison contractors have a magenta colored ID around their picture, and all Con Edison workers have a blue colored ID. And it also has their employee ID number on it. So you say, "I want to see your employee ID number, your name." You say, "Stay right there." They're all trained. We train them ourselves, train them to make sure that they're patient with you, they're respectful, and they wait for you as you call 1-800-75-CON-ED. There's one of the prompts on the little automated message that asks you to verify an employee or contractor. You can do it that way and say, "Okay, you enter the person's employee ID number, and it tells you, yes, that person's there to install your meter, or that person's in the neighborhood working on our meters." This gives you the peace of mind to say, "Okay, I know this person's really here for the reasons they say they are." And this goes for any other type of work being done by Con Edison gas section, all those things that are happening, Con Edison may be knocking on your door. You have every right to say, to ask them for this information. You also even get that information at verified, that person whatever reason you still feel uncomfortable. Because you don't have an appointment with you, you're cold knock on the door. I would rather get an appointment. You don't, I'm not
Hey, John,
arguing.
we're having a little difficulty with your audio here.
John, your audio is breaking up.
The so I didn't look up on this thing.
John, we really can't hear you. Your audio's breaking up.
Anyways, later, I'll say, like,
Bad area.
was and try to
Anyone hear him?
make it of you. Just some
John,
the
John,
kind
John, your audio is breaking
I don't
up.
think you can hear us.
and it says on your phone, it looks like the right number, and it tricks you because you're like, that's from Con Edison. I have to pick up. So, so I want to make sure that you
John, can you hear us?
that when you get a phone call, sorry, are you losing my audio?
Yes.
Yes.
The last 3 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I'm back.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, so I wanted to make sure that if someone calls your phone pretending to be from Con Edison, it says even on your call ID Con Ed, that's called spoofing.
right.
And at any time someone calls you, I want to give you all the power in the world here to say, hang up on them. Anybody from Con Edison calls you saying you owe whatever money, we're going to turn you off. They'll trick you. They're very kind. They have great customer service. They'll walk you through whatever steps to pay them. It doesn't matter. You can hang up on them and then call us back at 1-800-75-CON-ED and say, hey, you guys, someone just called me saying they're from Con Edison and say I owe this much money. Don't get tricked. Don't get into that pressure situation where you feel that anxiety where they're like, oh, you owe this much money, we're going to shut you off. They talk fast. They try to trick you. They try to make you feel uncomfortable. Hang up immediately. Call us back. And that will save you all the trouble in the world from ever being scammed by Con Edison, because you just don't have to take those calls. Just call us back. And any information, it's not like we won't have that information if you call us. So if you owed us money, yeah, we'll tell you, oh yeah, you do owe us money, and you can do whatever over the phone. So just don't worry about that. If someone calls you, don't bother with them. The other one I wanted to tell you is that we do not accept payments by Venmo, by Zelle, by Bitcoin, by gift card. We only take payments by your check or money order. We do the credit card and debit card and we do it through my account, or when we reopen our walk-in centers. Those are the only ways we accept the money. And don't feel bad if you do get scammed. We've had politicians come to us and tell us they've been scammed with the Zelle. Zelle is so popular now. People know that Zelle is a reputable company. So they assume that if someone says, oh, you can pay me through Zelle, that's a great way to make a payment, but it's not what we accept. We do not accept that. And don't get tricked by it just because you see Zelle on a commercial. Someone's using Zelle to trick you. So I just wanted to make sure I came here and pointed this out to you. All these scams, at the end of the day, if you get, it's hard. I was scammed once a long time ago and never again. And I want you never to be scammed once to learn your lesson. I want you to have that power right away and never be a victim of a scam. So it's not being rude. You don't have to let them in, and you can hang up on them. It's being safe. And that's all I wanted to make sure you knew.
John, thanks. I got a question. I have a question for you. As far as, well, we know what the ones over the phone are about, but as far as somebody trying to gain entry to your apartment, what is the nature of that scam? Is that to physically rob somebody or?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yes,
scary.
either they themselves physically rob you, or they keep you busy while someone else goes in your back door and robs you. So there's two different ways that that could go. So someone tries to physically push in, or someone's distracting you, talking to you, keeping you entertained while someone's trying to slip in another way.
Okay, and that's usually for their pitch is they want to do something with the smart meters, but aren't generally these
Or-
smart meters done outside the residence?
Some of them, yes. Some people do have them in their homes. A lot of gas meters are in people's homes. So they do that, or they'll say something like, "We need to inspect your gas, and your pipe is inside the house, and I need to inspect it inside." So they're looking for ways to get it into your home. So it's whatever. So if they come to your door, they may make the mistake of saying, "I'm here to install your smart meter." You could say, "Well, my meter's outdoors," and then they're tricked. But a lot of them are usually doing surveillance. They know, and they have a new scam ready. So just be careful of that. One other thing that I got your the thing about smart meters. The installation of smart meters costs no money. We've seen actual bills sent to them that look like real bills. They say installation costs $750, and it looks just like our bills. In fact, one of my colleagues found a website where they sell the old Con Ed bill template. We have a new template now, so they sell the old one, and who knows, they could soon find this new template. So you have to be wary. If something looks funny, contact us. If it doesn't look right, also you can go on your My Account on the My Account portal of coned.com, and you can verify all the information there as well.
Okay, I see Myra Joyce has her hand up, and then David
Right.
Gellin. I guess they have questions for you, Jen.
Yeah, so
Sure.
a lot of these scams, the Con Ed scams, 99% of them, to most of us here, are pretty obvious. But I think our major problem is getting the word out to people who are vulnerable. Sorry, who are vulnerable to these scams. So does anybody have any insight into how to get to the people who are really the targets?
Yeah, so I'm the new department manager for outreach, and I've been looking at how we used to do things. And we used to get information out around November, around Scam Awareness Week. We used to like hit you with advertising, radio spots, email blasts, social media ads. We used to go in and do presentations. And one of the things that we said was, yeah, it's Scam Awareness Week, but that's just a way to get the awareness out there. We need to be out all the time. So one of the initiatives that we have been doing, and Belkey is our go-to person in the Bronx. So anytime you need need someone in the Bronx, Belkey's Mateo, who's on the call as well, is your go-to in the Bronx. She, we've been now reaching out to the police precincts and saying, this is great. They have these meetings. Why aren't we at these meetings? Because we should be at them. So we've been doing a lot of them in Queens, a lot of them in Staten Island. I think this is our first in the Bronx. And we want to keep that going. It's not redundant. If 2 months from now you say, hey, can we have John back to talk about scams? I'm more than happy to come back and talk about scams. And then one of the things I tell everybody is spread the word. I'm giving you that phone number. I'm telling you, hang up on us. Those are simple things to tell people. Just spread that information out there, and you're gonna see us a lot more. We're gonna be trying to get out in the community a lot more. We have a robust regional outreach effort where we're really trying to hit each area much more efficiently than we have in the past to get these messages across.
Right, thank you.
David?
Yes, thank you. In terms of notification, frankly, I'm confident that I could create an ID with my picture and a blue or purple border. It wouldn't get me into an electronic keypad, at Irving Place where your office is, but I'm confident I can make a decent one that I could put up to a peephole on a door. Are you notifying residents in advance saying there will be somebody between 9 and 12 on Thursday, or 3 and 5 on Friday, or whatever?
So that's a great point, and it's something that we've had a little bit of an issue with, is these which is why I said something like cold knocking. It's we do send out letters and emails to customers letting them know, hey, we're going to be in your neighborhood in the coming weeks. To your point, I think it is a little hard for someone to get that letter to remember that in the coming weeks someone from Con Edison is going to be there. They might think, okay, maybe in a couple of days they'll still remember, but like 3 weeks later, it's anybody's ball game at that point. It might be someone from Con Ed, it could be a scam. So we've been going that extra mile to like send out communications closer to the actual date that we're going to be there, and we give a time frame. We'll be out in the community between 9 and 7 on Monday to Friday. We have some Saturday appointments available if you want to make an appointment. We do provide a phone number for customers to say, hey, I don't want you just coming to my home. I'm gonna call and make an appointment. So we're trying better at that. But and it's something that we've noticed a lot of customers complain about, and we've heard that complaint, and we said, you know what, let's do better. We're trying to even look at our communications, not just on that, but just to say we need to better make our customers aware of what's going on in their community, because sometimes customers confuse some construction going on in one block, and they'll say, oh yeah, you guys installed my smart meter and you tore up my block, and I'm like, nope, that's two different things. We need to make sure that we let customers kind of understand which jobs are going on at what time, so they're better informed and they're not confused. And so we're trying to do a better job with that. That's one of the things that customer outreach is doing. One of the reasons why I also mentioned the employee ID number is, yes, you could probably go into make a blue ID, but you won't be able to fake a name attached to a Con Ed employee ID number without knowing somebody from Con Ed, which would cause a lot of problems with that person that whose name and ID number you may have stolen. But you wouldn't be able to really do that. So when I tell customers, ask for the name, ask for the employee ID number, call 1-800-75-CON-ED. Now you're definitely will know for sure if that person's really supposed to be there or not.
Right, that's assuming that people remember 875 Con Ed. And your
Yes.
idea, don't get me wrong, your idea of offering appointments is a very good idea. But the idea of we'll be there next week, Monday through Friday, between 9 and 7, the criminals will probably know of that too. So they just look for a day when, there aren't repair trucks, and they could then, prey on homeowners. So it's something to keep in mind.
I know. I get
You
your
need to
point.
tighten that up.
I definitely get your point. Nothing is perfect. That's why we're really trying to do better with the communications. And also, I think I say 1-800-75-CON-ED so many times that I hope people start memorizing it and being annoyed by it, so that they'll always know that number when it's time to call. I make sure in every presentation to at least say it like 5 or 6 times. But that's the best way for them to be able. And also, I always tell customers, please read your mail from Con Ed. I know a lot, and I tell people this all the time. You get a letter from Con Ed, and you're like, oh, it's probably my bill. I'll just pay it later, and you throw it out, and it's not a bill. It's something that has information in it. So don't. I tell customers, don't be quick to throw out the Con Edison letters away, because it might be important information related to some work we're doing in the area.
Thanks a lot, John. So Officer Jamshi, you have anything else to add?
Yes. I would like to add, I don't mind giving any presentation. If you have any community gathering, I know some buildings do like meetings. Don't be afraid to reach out to me so I could give some advice and tips on what's going on in the neighborhood, how to prevent, on the hope to stop any criminal activities that have been happening, and avoid people to be victims of those crimes.
Okay, thank you, Officer Jamshi. I just wanted to add also that, a lot of these scams are targeting the elderly, and I think this is something Myra touched on it before, is to get the word out. And I wanted to have an informational session on this to start to do that. But I just like, as time moves forward, I'd like to continue to bring this up and raise awareness about this. And I was doing a little research. I saw the NYPD does have a website that for crime prevention and safety tips that is probably good for people to see. And also the Federal Trade Commission has a whole consumer information section on their website of how to recognize and avoid scams. So, you know, that I need to brush up on that stuff more myself, and I want to bring some of that up, you know, as the months progress this year. But the Federal Trade Commission does have a pretty extensive website on, you know, protecting American consumers. It has information on how to report fraud, report identity theft, register for do not call, a lot of things that, you know, about crime prevention and scam alert. So I think that's something that we should continue to promote and bring to the public's attention, because I mean, it's just so widespread at this point. And, you know, every time I look at my cell phone, I'm getting some, you know, pop-up thing or some type of message left on my phone in a language I don't even understand, that's obviously a scam. And it's, you know, it's a whole new world with technology has opened up like a Pandora's box of scams that we've never seen before. So it's something I want to continue to raise awareness for. And if anybody from the committee hears anything or gets any information that they feel would contribute to this, please.
Let me make a suggestion. If I can make a suggestion along that, because I share your concern. In every precinct, then there are clergy liaisons from every faith group in the area, and perhaps information can be given over to these clergy liaisons to get into the various bulletins and mailings of the houses of worship in the community, because often those are trusted sites, much more trusted than, and no offense to the guy from Con Ed, but much more trusted than a letter that comes from Con Ed. And if they could be a liaison back into the community with this kind of information, it would be a powerful way to get it to the most vulnerable.
That's a great suggestion, Bob. Maybe we can talk about, you know, the board having some type of coordination with that to get just at least to try to make people aware of some of the resources to give them more information about these things. So when, you know, people aren't caught flat-footed with this stuff. Myra, your hand is up?
Yes, I have a question for Officer Raja. First of all, you guys froze. Is their screen frozen? Raja and Captain Gervin.
We're good. We have you.
Okay.
Anyway, no, my question is going back to these the checks being mailed, being stolen out of the blue mailboxes. My perception is that it's safer to pay your bills online than it is to mail them.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So
Yes.
that's good that my perception is correct, which I do. I don't mail any bills. I pay them all online. Convincing somebody who is not that comfortable with it that it's safer is a big issue, because I'm a big proponent of paying your bill online and, you know, trying to talk other people into doing it, that it is safer is sort of you know, running into a brick wall. So if you guys have any ideas how to
Yes.
explain it, that it's safe.
Yes, today I was on, as I said before, I'm a new in position, but I have many new ideas. So what I've been doing since I've been in position almost 3 months, I take 1 hour in every corner, whatever mailbox, right? 235 Johnson, an example, or 236 and Johnson. I
Right.
stood for like an hour while cleaning the mailbox, putting my, you know, always people curious. They stop by, what's going on? So the lady today, she said, I'm too old to walk to the post office. and of course I understand that. So another lady came in, the neighbor, she's, a little younger than her. She said, I take your mailbox. They're their neighbor for many years, Riverdale, they live. She was like, the other lady too, I'll ask her. I go to the post office, even though she, she same thing. She was like, I'm not mailing my mail, like my envelope. I'm not putting my envelope in the mailbox ever again because I was a victim. So she was like, I'm gonna ask the ladies on my floor, whoever I could take their mail whenever I go. I knock on their door, help them out. This one thing. Another thing. Anyone could have someone like a brother, a sister, a nephew, a niece. Just try to get help from someone else. It's better. You could mail your check, but obviously people thought like they shouldn't mail at all. I recommend not to do so. Obviously, if you really, really struggling, just know that you could be a victim. You could be a victim of those. I've seen it, the way they pull it out. It's amazing.
Right.
I put my hand today where it's almost like the teeth. It feels like teeth. Even then, I felt the glue. And I spoke to the U.S. Postal Office. I spoke to them. When they do open it, they do spray with something to clean up the glue just in case it doesn't stuck again. So they do work on it because I was wondering what they do with it. So he said we clean it with special spray so it doesn't stay there. Try to pay electronically, go in person, go to the post office. Try to find, we have two nice post office, one on Broadway, very convenient, and one on Riverdale. It's really empty all the time. Then you could take the bus or anything. Just try, or even you could know the hours of the truck when they come in to pick up. You could see it on the mailbox. What time? At 2:15. Today was at 2:15. The lady stood there. She didn't want to put her envelope there. It was a check. She said, "I'll wait for him to come in. You could give it to him." It's safer. It's better to be safe than sorry. And especially now it's a holiday season, so those mailboxes are really targeted. Like today, that one it was glue everywhere. So I had to clean it, and they tried to remove my sign. Riverdale 256, 259, 260, whatever that block, I cleaned it because that was targeted too. Whenever I see glue, I stop because it's like a busy area. They know people mail their checks there. That's all I can say. Whenever you see a mailbox that's been damaged, please let me know, email me, shoot me an email so I could go clean it and check and speak to the residents around that, who lives around that, in that area.
Okay, thanks.
Officer Jamshid, you're speaking a lot about the mailboxes. I'm concerned about how widespread this is. You talk about all the glue and everything. Also, I mean, unless I'm mistaken, stealing mail is a federal crime. So it's, my thoughts are, is there been any initiatives taken to maybe perhaps monitor the mailboxes, maybe via cameras, or have cameras in the area, or have some type of statement? Even, I mean, I get it. You put a statement on a mailbox, stealing mail is a federal crime. It's not going to deter some knucklehead that's going to try to do it. But I know they've made physical changes to these mailboxes to make it almost impossible to stick your hand in, yet you say they're still putting glue. And I guess, how widespread is this? Is it really like all over the place?
Yes. So same time, when I go to any corner, I will check the stores. That's part of my position too. I would say, oh, you have cameras inside? Yes. You have cameras outside? Not really. I encourage store owners or like Starbucks, whatever, any stores around there, I look and ask, I encourage the owners to install cameras outside. It helps out. And also we made arrests based on cameras actually, because sometimes they are the same people. And I spoke today, one of the supers who lives in the building. He said, I saw from the window they were trying. I said, you call 911 right away. Your camera is working, right? He said, yes, and it's recorded. And I gave it to the officer. So we do make an arrest. After they leave day or two on a DAT, I don't know how it goes down with the court with the judge, but we do make an arrest based on cameras actually a lot of times. Because the time that happened usually happen I noticed in reports it's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Not many people, Riverdale residents like to go to work next day, right? So they're sleeping already. But the cameras, any working cameras, it really helps a lot. And that super, he said, I did help them arresting those guys. He got a plate number, the car was waiting there, and he showed them the footage, and they got the while ago, I'm not sure how long ago, but he stopped by and he was happy, more than happy. I said, please stay in touch with me so we could make sure that won't happen again.
Very good. Thank you, Officer Jamshed. David, you have a question?
Also, in terms of prevention, you mentioned the post office is probably a more secure place to drop off your mail. But you mentioned the two on Broadway and Upper Riverdale Avenue, but we also have two more on 238 and Capuck Street, so that people can go there. But moreover, when you make your presentations on crime prevention, one thing I would say, particularly to older folks, is never, never, never put something in the car or the trunk and walk away from the car. I've seen it, not just in New York, all over the world. People put something that they think is valuable, like their wallet or their purse, in the trunk, thinking it's safe. But there's a decent chance somebody else noticed that you're putting probably something valuable there. And I've been at police stations and lost and founds, and you hear people complain, saying that they, put something in their trunk and they went to the beach or whatever, or into the store. Just never, never, never put something in the car and walk away from the car.
Same thing. Part of my job, I take care of the senior citizen too, who is a victim of felonies, crime. But I look into everything. So 60, 66 and up, and I noticed the same thing. It's just, they grab one bag and they leave the other one because it's too heavy, right? Too heavy to, I'll take it tomorrow morning. And they leave their computers. They leave really valuable things in their car. Sometimes we used to take reports, like that's the price of a house. So they leave, like they leave jewelry, so expensive. I have a person who, he bought a ring, an engagement ring. He wanted to surprise her, but the house is so big, he couldn't hide it. I said, you couldn't hide the ring. He left it in the car. He forgot to lock the car and they stole the ring. So nothing flashy, nothing shows that it could be worth it for them to break into the car or take the whole car for that matter, actually. Especially Hondas, they get stolen all the time. So a lot of times, not even just the valuable things, any documents too, because to make a report for documents and replace them, it takes forever. So just don't leave anything in the car.
But certainly never put anything in the car and walk away from the car, because that's a signal to a thief that you think it's valuable.
Correct.
Thank you, David. Officer Jamshed, thank you so much for your presentation.
Anytime.
Appreciate the information, and we're going to continue to try to, raise awareness about this issue, because it's, despite all your great work, it's not anything that's going to go away anytime soon. So we have to continue to be, to fight it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so we have no SLAs. We have no renewals, no new applications, no SLAs for this month. Which is, the one thing I will mention regarding the SLAs, though, I did get an email from the State Liquor Authority that the 500-foot rule, which had been basically suspended from, over the course of COVID, they're now resuming hearings for that. So one of our businesses was called for a hearing to do that. So the 500-foot rule is if there are, more than 3 establishments at a 500-foot area, the establishment basically needs to prove that it's in issuing the licenses in the public interest. So those will resume. I'm really saying that more for Nick than anybody because that's gonna affect his committee. So anyway, no SLAs. Do we have any old business? We don't have any old business that I know of. Any new business? Anybody from the committee want to bring up any new business? No new business. So with that, do we have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, with that, this public safety meeting is adjourned, and I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank the officers for their presentation, and I want to wish everybody happy holidays, happy new year. This will be the last public safety meeting for 2021, and thanks everybody for coming out.
Okay,
Enjoy your holidays.
great.
Happy holidays,
Okay.
happy new year.
Hey, you guys have a good night.
Greetings, everybody.
Bye. Happy New Year, everybody.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta stop.